The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. 44 for Jalen Brunson today against Milwaukee. The most points in Knicks franchise history for someone that played under 30 minutes. He played 28-47. Cat, 30 and 18. And the Knicks follow up their worst loss in terms of point differential by their biggest win in terms of point differential this year, blowing out the Bucks by 34, 140 to 106. Great to have you with us, Bill Pidto, along with Wally Szczerbiak. Huge change for the Knicks compared to what we saw against OKC on Friday night. Why were they so much better?
Complete tone set by Jalen Brunson, the captain, in the first quarter. He came out aggressive, got himself going with a couple quick buckets. Their supposed stopper, Andre Jackson, got him into foul trouble with 2 fouls early on, and then Jalen Brunson just took over in that first quarter. I thought the Knicks were a step faster. This Milwaukee Bucks team, the matchups are perfect for the Knicks because OG Anunoby is a really good matchup for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is going to get some points, but it's going to be difficult for him to just overpower and dominate the game because of what a good defender OG Anunoby is. And then Damian Lillard, he had a pretty good game, but at times you can take him out of what he wants to do by switching pick and rolls and stuff like that. So overall, this was a feel-good win. It's good to see those threes go down. 18 threes makes life a lot easier when you knock down the shots.
Thankfully, Brunson appears to be okay. Took a shot, it looked like, in that right shoulder in the third quarter. Went into the locker room, but came back out to finish up his 44-point performance. Let's take a look at the highlights from the game, Wally. The Knicks opened up a 13-point lead at the half. They blew it out in the second half, and Brunson had his best ever first quarter with 23 first-quarter points.
Yeah, and he was just looking aggressive. He was making his threes. He got himself into rhythm. Giannis Antetokounmpo got going a little bit under the basket, but I thought the Knicks did a good job of making him shoot over the top of the defense, not giving him a lot of dunks and stuff like that. How about Karl Anthony Towns? He loves playing against these guys.
He had 32 in the first meeting.
I know, and 30 in this meeting. It's a tough matchup. They wanted to keep Giannis on Karl Anthony Towns. They thought that was the best matchup to slow him down. But also, what about Cameron Payne? I mean, he was outstanding, just knocking down threes all over the place. Point a minute, Cameron Payne, when he came into the game, actually more than a point a minute at 18 points in 14 minutes. And then in the third quarter, the Knicks just came out nailing triples all over the place. It's one of those things where when you start a game properly and you get yourself off to a good start at home, it's like skiing downhill. Everything just flows into place.
Look at the three-point shooting improvement. We talked in the pregame. 29% for the Knicks from downtown in the last 10. In this one, they go 18 of 47, and Brunson, who had been 7 for his last 45, in this game went 5 for 10. So the shooting was a lot better, and that helped the Knicks to 140 points, beating the Bucks by 34. If you were Brunson, and I asked him on the court, because you've often been a scorer on teams, obviously, in your career, would your approach have been what it was? I got to come out on fire, make sure we get off to a good start based on how things have been going here with 4 losses in their last 5 coming into this game?
Definitely. As a point guard, you got to read the situation, what your team needs. He obviously saw last game, team was struggling to score, struggling to find baskets, got off to a little bit of a slow start in that game. Now, it's also dictated by how the team is defending you that you're going up against, but I think Jalen Brunson saw matchups that he liked in this one, and he said, I got to put my imprint on this game early. I got to get the pressure off my teammates because some of my teammates are struggling a little bit with their confidence, and as a result, he just came out with a vengeance. And when he sets that kind of tone offensively, then you have to start double teaming him. That opens up a lot of stuff for everyone else. There are 2 guys on this team that you really don't have to worry about finding a way to get to 20 or 25, and that's obviously Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. When those 2, here's the injury. Looks like he just got jammed on the shoulder. Hopefully it's nothing too bad.
He's able to come back into the game.
Yeah.
You know, when he calls immediately, say, I'm going to the locker room, obviously we were all concerned. Comes back into a rousing ovation and was able to pretty much finish what he needed to finish.
Scary part, luckily it looks like he's going to be okay. He was icing that shoulder down, but this is something where, Jalen has to manage that. Look at that shot chart. That is balance personified.
He didn't even play 30 minutes.
I know. 29 minutes. He just
took 26 shots.
Yeah, he had a great matchup. Every turn he made, he had a guy he could score on, and that's incredible balance there to be knocking down shots all over the court like that.
They kept having A.J. Green guard Jalen Brunson, and I don't think it worked too well, Wally, do you?
Well, it didn't matter who guarded him. He torched Andre Jackson. He torched A.J. Green. He torched Pat Connaughton when he was on him. And Connaughton's known to be a defender, and so's Andre Jackson. So he's just a good scorer, and he can get his shot whenever he wants, and he was able to create a lot of good offense for himself.
You know, it's really interesting. We've talked a lot about Brunson's approach. He doesn't always go for the 40-point games, but it seems like he knew that his team needed him to come out strong and come out strong early to get them off to the nice start.
No question. And he's had big games against Milwaukee in the past. There's something about the spacing on the floor when he comes off those pick and rolls with Brook Lopez out here, who's a drop big. He likes to play drop coverage. At times when you don't pick up Jalen Brunson coming off the screen, you don't have two guys right there to corral him. He's just going to pick you apart. And I think that's what he saw early on in this game. And he continued to attack, and he continued to just have, you know, probably his most efficient, best game of the season with 44 points in 29 minutes.
Any correlation between how they shoot and how they ultimately win? Because when they shoot the ball, but it seems like they're not able to compensate when they're not
Chuck
shooting
Daly said, the great, rest in peace, Chuck Daly, the great coach said, shooting covers up for a multitude of sins on the basketball floor. If you got guys that can shoot, and you mess up a couple times on the defensive end of the floor, that shooting is going to cover up on the offensive end of the floor for a lot of things. So when the shots go in, it makes life a lot easier.
Against OKC, the Knicks go 4 of 31 from downtown tonight. And this one, 18 of 41. I guess it does
cover up
a lot of sins. Monica McNutt now joins us. She helped call the game on ESPN.
Hold on, Pidto, before you start. Wally, let me get an. I'm gonna give you an amen, because shooting covers up a multitude of sins. Woo, chow. Yes, in fact, it does. It's so good to see this team have such an efficient night from the three-point line, particularly led by Jalen Brunson, who was 50% and knocked down 5 threes on this Sunday while he was preaching about shooting. Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
Can I get a witness from the congregation?
Oh, look at you, man. What you find out?
As the late, great Stuart Scott made famous back in the heyday of SportsCenter. So can I introduce you again, Monica?
Yes,
or,
go ahead.
Or have you been properly introduced at this point? How about Brunson? Phenomenal.
Fantastic. And I think Tyler and I were talking with Pat O'Keefe in our postgame report, the feel of the night, right? Yes, you look at these games, and he has certainly left it all out on the floor, as he always does. He's gotten to the cumulative points by the end of a ball game. But tonight, you could really see that it was like, okay, it's time to get back on the right side of the column with the W. And his attitude, his approach, his relentless spirit, setting the tone, having that 23-point first quarter was huge, I think, for the duration of the ball game. And then, I know we're talking Brunson now, but then Towns has the big second quarter. And so you get back to the combination that allowed this team to have so much success early this season. Brunson, to me, though, I mean, he sent Andre Jackson to the bench in terms of foul trouble, and he is a terrific defender. He made the most of the times that A.J. Green was guarding him, figuring out exactly where he could go to his spots. And again, we started this conversation here, seeing him confidently hit threes. And of course, going out with the shoulder, coming back in, getting a big-time and-one play, and then knocking down another three before he rightfully so got time to get off his feet down the stretch in this ballgame. This was a really great effort by this entire team. And of course, Jalen Brunson, the captain, is the head of that.
Monica, what about Cameron Payne? I was looking up player efficiency rating for the Knicks. He is 4th on the Knicks, behind 1st Towns, 2nd Brunson, 3rd Josh Hart. When he plays, he produces 18 points in 14 minutes. What did you see from him?
Well, we actually asked Cameron Payne about being able to stay ready as this team is kind of riding the ebbs and flows. And frankly, his minutes have been ebbed and flowed throughout the course of the season. And he said for him, it's just about staying ready. It's about getting in the gym. It's about doing whatever it is that this team needs for him to be successful. So tonight, again, the three-point shooting, as a collective, we saw him knock down some threes. We saw his change of pace make an impact in this basketball game, because he's one of the guys that likes to play fast. And of course, just his overall energy on the floor, communicating with his guys, flying around defensively. I just think that veteran experience, whether it's a 10-minute night for him or more, you know, that has fluctuated. He's always ready with whatever it was. And tonight he played that 14-20 tonight.
All right, Monica, tomorrow the Pistons are in town. Tomorrow night, arguably the most improved team in the entire league.
Yes.
They won only 14 games last year. They've won 20 this year. And remember, they beat the Knicks here at MSG
I
in
do
December.
remember. Look, here's the thing with the Pistons that I've enjoyed watching this team. Even when we went to Detroit and the Knicks took care of that business handily, you could see, though, the pieces that team has. They've got length. They've got athletic guys. Cade Cunningham, similar to Jalen Brunson, is the type of guy that it's not easy to speed up. He does have a little bit more size than Brunson. And so under Bickerstaff, they're all starting to put it together. Now, rest disadvantage, Knicks, all of that tonight. But I do think there's something that I would like to believe, and in my observation at least, something sort of clicked tonight for this Knicks squad in terms of the urgency that they have to play with. And Cameron Payne kind of said as much to us post-game when we had a chance to talk with him on the radio.
All right, Monica, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good.
All right, when we come back, post-game comments from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. His Knicks are now 26-14. We'll hear what he has to say about the win and Jalen Brunson after this.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
34-point win for the Knicks, their biggest margin of victory all year as they beat the Bucks 140-106. Back now from the Corner 3 presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. Tomorrow for the Knicks, the second of a back-to-back. They're home again, this time to take on the Pistons. So far this year against Detroit, the Knicks are 1-1. Detroit last year won only 14 games. This year they've already won 20. And remember, they beat the Knicks here in New York in December. Time now to listen to the post-game comments from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, as always, presented by Chase.
What happened with Jalen in the third quarter? I just had a little bit of a stinger, and then we got checked out. He was fine.
Stinger, shoulder?
Yeah.
Nothing lingering, no worries for tomorrow?
We'll see, how he responds, but he said he felt fine.
Tom, the shot quality across the board seemed really good today. Were you pleased with kind of how
Yeah, I thought it was a good response. I thought, in all areas, I thought strong both sides of the ball, played with good pace on, both in transition and in the half court. And then I thought the rebounding was really good, and sharing the ball was really good, and taking care of it. They're playing great basketball, so they put a lot of pressure on you. With Giannis and Lillard, and Middleton's a load to deal with when he comes in as well. But guys like Bobby Portis and Green, they got a lot of weapons, and so we knew it would be a challenge that would require multiple effort, and I thought we responded in a very positive way.
Tom, what kind of lift did campaign?
Huge. And those were big minutes, and especially the way they unfolded. I think in Cat, the early foul trouble too, I thought Precious gave us good minutes. So that bench play was really good, and we needed that. And then Jalen hit a lot of big shots, but he also didn't fight the game. And when the double team came, I thought OG was terrific. And you have to react very quickly because Lopez is all over the place, and he was matched up on OG. I thought OG did a lot of good things for us to really help us function well.
Tom, do you, just with the way the team has shot lately and slumped a little bit offensively,
Yeah.
do you feel like Jalen takes it more upon himself to say, I'm going to get us going? It seemed like he was really aggressive in the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, and I always say the game, dictates what you should do. Don't fight the game. If they're blitzing or they're in a fire or whatever it is, don't fight it. But we know that if we play faster, it's hard to get into those things. And so I think that that's a big part of it. And then other guys can create advantages for us as well. So play together and take advantage of, if they're putting two on Jalen all the time or two on Cat all the time, that means there's easy opportunities in other places, and it also opens up the offensive rebounding, which we think we're pretty good at. So, I thought the big thing was getting that competitive spirit. You're going to get knocked down in this league. You got to get back up, and I think the mental toughness aspect of it is huge. And as a group, to respond well and to respond the right way. So when you fall short, make the necessary changes that you have to make to respond well, and always have the belief that you could do it better.
Maybe to that point, just what does this say about your group that they did it so quickly after that game?
Yeah, no, it says a lot. And I think we know it's a long season too, and so you have to, the makeup of our team is outstanding. So, you know, and we're not going to be perfect. We'll have some games we fall short, but, you know, I know the work that they put in and the commitment that they've made to each other, and that goes a long way over the course of the season. And the idea is to be playing your best at the end.
Jalen tied Carmelo Anthony for 40-point games by Nick today. The next guy up is like Bernard King. These are Hall of Fame level snipers. How does this guy end up in that list?
Well, you know, you're really proud of them, and all those other guys as well. You know, a lot of these guys, like most of them know Melo because you know, he's younger, but Bernard King was, you know, he was something. And so, and I love, like, and I give, you know, Jim and Leon and Wes a lot of credit for bringing those guys back and having them involved with us, because I think there's a rich history and those guys are special, and just the way they interact. And it's great having Patrick here, you know, and he's helping us out. But, you know, we've got a lot of guys that are around, but the all-time greats certainly are special. And when you start getting mentioned in those categories, it's a credit to him. Particularly, he's such a self-made guy, and again, I think his talent speaks for itself. You can't do those things without, you know, great talent. But to also have the humility that he has, and for him, he just wants to win. You know, that's the most important. If Jalen scores 2 points and we win, he's as happy as, you know, if he scores 44 and we win. And that's the beauty of his game. And, you know, he'll adjust to whatever is needed. You know, if he's being double teamed, he'll you know, just make the plays. If Cat has it going, or, you know, OG has it going, or Mikhail, he's going to search them out. You know, if that's the better matchup, or, you know, then he recognizes those things. And I think he understands, in order for us to achieve our goals, we have to function as a team, and everyone has to make sacrifices.
What can you say, though, about his individual performance, you know, coming out so hot after Friday night and then coming back straight to the scores table after the injury?
Yeah, I think it's inspiring. I think that's what, you know, a great leader unites and inspires. And so, and it could be a lot of different ways, too. It's like, I'm a big believer, not so much in what guys say, but more by what they do. And if a guy makes a great hustle play, that gets your team going. Like, some of the plays that Josh makes, where he's flying all over the place, you know, that gives your team spirit and toughness, and that gives your team heart. And I think those things are huge in terms of building a team spirit and togetherness. And sometimes you're not going to shoot the ball great all 82 games. And so those nights in which we don't shoot it that well, we still have to find a way to win.
Can you say something from what you've seen so far from Ali and Party?
Yeah, I like our young guys a lot. All of them. Ariel's been terrific, and he's got a very bright future. He's very high energy, and you know, and he has a unique ability to protect the rim, and he puts a lot of pressure on the rim. He sets a good screen. He gets out of the screen quick, and he's learning the NBA game. And so he's around some really good veterans, which I think will help speed up that process. And then when you look at Tyler, I think Tyler's a gym rat. He's got a great feel for the game. He's getting better and better, and Pacome as well. And Pacome's 18 years old, and you know, he's getting more experience, you know, playing right now in the G League. But those guys, I really like our young guys. Jacob Toppin has really done a good job every day in practice. He brings a lot of energy to practice, and sometimes I think that gets overlooked, and we probably shouldn't do that. They should be recognized more for, you know, what they bring to the team, and they're involved every time out. Their spirit is there. They're greeting guys as they're coming off the floor, and over the course of the season, you need everybody. And so the part of, you know, how you prepare as a team is huge, and those guys are a big part of that.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Knicks are home again tomorrow night, hosting the Pistons. Pregame at 7, game at 7:30. You can stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports app. Josh Hart and the Knicks' big win today, 11-11. Here he is after the game.
The energy and togetherness today compared to the last couple of games, what do you think of it?
I think it was good. You know, we played with sense of urgency, which is how we should always play. We execute at a high level. We got stops. We got, some easy buckets, and obviously JB, is knocking out shots. So we, just try to ride the hot hand. Wow.
What does it do for the team when Brunson comes out and puts out 23 in the first quarter?
It just opens things up. Obviously he's a great player and he demands attention. But obviously when he gets it going like that, then obviously sometimes they start to fire, they start to blitz him, and then we just kind of playing 4-on-3, and then we're able to just get open shots and play to our strengths.
Tom Thibodeau was an assistant on Doc Rivers' staff when the Celtics won the championship in 2008. Post-game handshake there. Knicks win big. All right, back with Wally now. We got the Pistons in town tomorrow, and as we've talked about, Detroit has won a game here in New York already this year.
It's one of the surprise teams in the NBA. You had a couple veterans like Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., with all that young core, and they're starting to play good basketball. So on a back-to-back, Knicks have to be ready, but I think they found something tonight. Now they're going to carry it over to tomorrow.
All right, we will find out. We'll see you tomorrow. Pre-game at 7, game at 7:30, and also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now in the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.